All right then, so welcome to the afternoon session of the second day of the Links workshop. So to start this session, we will have 4 talks this afternoon. And the first talk is by Ludovic Noiry. Ludovic Noiry is a senior researcher at Nokia Bell Labs France. He worked on many topics in networking, starting from optical networks to byte switch concept, for which he got some Best New Product Award in 2005 and 2006. And in 2011, he was one of the founding members of Links, representative of Nokia Bell Labs. And he's also a member of the executive committee. And recently, in the past few years, he started to study IoT and its many implications on connection with SDN, NFV, and other network-related concepts. So it's with great pleasure that we have him today to survey results obtained by Links researchers on this hot topic. Ludovic, please go.
Okay, so I share my screen. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go. Sorry. So hello everyone. So what I want to present are the activities at Links concerning Internet of Things in general for the 3 last years, because the last scientific committee workshop we had was 3 years ago. So the content of this talk is the following. I will first talk about the working group that was set up before the last workshop we had. And I will explain what happened these 3 last years for this working group. Then I will speak. I will give the list of the seminars that was given at Links on that topic. Talk about some main thesis that was on that topic at Links, and then describe some of the activities related to IoTs that give several results. Wireless body area networks, remote connectivity for Bluetooth, IoT device type identification, IoT network monitoring, and few other topics. And then I will conclude. So the participants of the working group were from all the institutions participating to the Links, INRIA, Institut Telecom, Nokia Bell Labs, and Sorbonne University. It was launched in 2017. In 2018, there were less activities for this working group, but then it was reactivated in 2019 with the visit of Professor Panos Chrysanthis, invited by Vasilis Christofides from INRIA, and who interacted with many people from the Links. And one also important outcome of this working group was the contribution to the InfoComm 2019 workshop on resilient and secure IoT for us that took place in Paris in end of April 2019. 3 people of the Links was in the organizing and steering committee of this workshop: Maria Potobutukaru, Natalia Osnova, and Sébastien Tixoy. And in total, 7 people participated to the technical program committee, the 3 above, plus Vasilis, Makhlouf, Ken Lim, and myself. It was a short workshop, half a day, with 1 invited speaker and 5 accepted papers. This is the list of the seminars. I will not go too much in the details. There were 9 seminars in the 3 last years with the topic around IoT. 3 of them were with invited people, and one of these invited talk was the one of Panos Chrysanthis when he visited us, about the processing and aggregation of our big data streams. 3 of these talk were from PhD students, Gero Bou, Nesrine Amar, and Adam Eriban. 1 from Nintern, Pune Mokarias in September last year, and 2 from members of the Links, 1 from Natalia and 1 from myself. The thesis at Links, and you will have some details on the content of the thesis after in the slide after. The first one was from Wafé Badreddine, Sorbonne University, on communication protocols in wireless body area networks. This thesis was directed by Maria Potop-Bucaro at Sorbonne University, and she defended, Wafa defended her PhD end of 2018. The second one is another PhD student from Maria, so Geobu, on reliability, security, and privacy in wireless body area networks. He defended his PhD end of 2019. The last one was Nesrine Amar, who was a PhD student at Nokia Bell Labs at Sorbonne University on autonomous IoT device type identification. It was a three-cifre thesis. The thesis director was Sébastien, and I was the industrial advisor of her. She defended her PhD thesis in March last year. So now I will give more details about the content of these activities, and first on wireless body area networks. So as you've seen with the two PhD students described before, this work was carried out at Sorbonne University with Maria Potop-Bucaro and the two PhD students, Geobu and Wafa Badreddine. So the context is the context of the wireless body area network. This network consists in having sensors on the body, and they have many applications in health, in surgery, rehabilitation, also directly by end users to monitor their own health. You may have intra-WBAN communication or inter-WBAN communication, and the work that was carried out at Sorbonne University was focused on intra-wireless body area network. So what they do on the topic is to look at solution and evaluate the performance for the communication reliability concerning the various postures of the people that may alter the communication between the different sensors on the body. So you see here some of this posture about walking, running, wearing a jacket, sleeping, sitting down, lying down, etc. So the kind of studies that were carried out, first they study the ConvergeCast protocols. These protocols aims at converging the communication to a single point that then will be able to communicate with the exterior. So they propose some solution about that. They also do a performance analysis by simulations, and they also design and evaluate efficient transmission protocol in that context. A second aspect was the modeling of a wireless body area network, and what was done is the design and the analysis of a Markovian model to be applied in this context of a wireless body area network. And third point, important point, was about the security and reliability of data for wireless body area network. And they design a performance-aware authentication in that context. There were many publications on the topic, so I will not describe all of them. So here you have the publication of Wafé Badreddine during her PhD thesis. And you also have the PhD manuscript available on internet. I will give the slide, and all of you will be able to get the slide if you want to read the details of the publication. Here you have the publication of Geobu during his PhD thesis. And most importantly, there is a plan to publish a book about all this work. So the editor will be Morgan and Claypool. The publishers give his agreement for that, and the publication target is for June next year. Now I will switch to another topic: remote connectivity for Bluetooth. This work was carried out in Nokia Bell Labs by Natalia Roznova, who is a member at Lynx, with the help of Marc-Olivier Buob, Richard Deauville, and Vincent Verdeau. Marc-Olivier is also a member of Lynx, and Richard and Vincent are colleagues working in Bell Labs in Nozé. So, what is this work is about? The context is the context of Bluetooth. Bluetooth is a solution to enable short-length communication with devices around people. It doesn't rely on TCP/IP, and you have a green version of Bluetooth with low-energy Bluetooth. The problem of the approach today is that this approach using Bluetooth communication use native applications. Different devices may use different applications. And if you want to have some remote communication with your device, if you are not close to him, to the device, to it, then there are some issues. You may have to impact the end devices, which is not a good thing. We would like to use the native applications. Some proprietary devices may not have the capability to do that, so they might be ignored. There are some solutions that may use cloud, and so this involves a third party, and these are some issues with privacy. And so there are many solutions, and they are not really easy to use for the end users. So the vision they had when they developed a solution for this remote connectivity for Bluetooth is to be application agnostic. So the application may be used natively as if the device was close to the end user. So we want to avoid impact on the end devices. We would like also that all proprietary devices to be managed with a single solution. We would like also to ensure privacy, to have direct connection, not to go through the cloud, and to be easy to use. So we want something to be transparent, indeed, in fact. So the implementation that have been done is the following one. It relies on a remote connection manager with one part on the client and one part that will act as a proxy. So on the proxy side, you have some remote connected devices that are connected to a device, to a hub, for example, with Bluetooth. And what has been implemented in the stack is to be able to transfer the communication at the Bluetooth level to a remote Bluetooth client that will get the communication as if the device will be close to it. Here, we also need to have some arrangement in the Bluetooth protocol stack, and so the device that is connected remotely will be able to control the devices that are remote, as well, of course, as the devices that are close to the client. So at the end, this remote client manager this remote connection manager client will be implemented inside this inside the smartphone in the Bluetooth protocol stack in such a way that you can use any native application, and the native application will be able to be controlled remotely. Will be able to control remotely the remote devices as if they were close to the smartphone. There is no change to be done in the application, neither in the end devices. So this was ported and tested on Nokia IoT Connector Gateway. There has been also some demo using this solution. Two publications, one on the concept and the solution in a workshop in InfoComm 2018, and one on the demo in the demo session in InfoComm 2019. The code is available, is open source on the Nokia GitHub. So this is for the remote connectivity for Bluetooth. Third activity was IoT device type identification. This work was done by Nesrin Amar, PhD student with us, so working on Nokia Bell Labs, and also a student at the Sorbonne University, with Sébastien Tixeuil and myself. So the context is the context of IoT networks with a lot of connected devices surrounding the people. And the question is how to help people to better use their end devices. And so previous work we did was about giving some recommendation to the end user, telling what they can do with their devices. But before that, what is required is to know what are the devices that are connected to the network. And so we would like to have a solution to identify the type of the devices that are connected. For example, is it a smartphone? Is it a tablet? Some device with sound, the light, TV, and so on. Being able to infer this kind of thing. So what Nesrin developed during her PhD thesis was a supervised machine learning-based solution. So the idea is to capture the traffic traces from the IoT device connected to the network, but not the full capture, only let's say the first minute of traffic, because we thought at the beginning, and this was checked by the result we had, that the most important part is the first communication with the device when they connect to the network. So we have some feature extraction, and for the features, we use two different kinds of features, traffic features, like packet length, interarrival time, port numbers, protocols, and so on. And also what we call textual features. In some applications, when it is not encrypted, you may have some information in the text that can be very useful and can be extracted to identify the devices. So then we train some models using different machine learning techniques, and have several classifiers in parallels, one classifier per type of devices. And here what we call type is so a type of device, and more precisely, we identify a type of devices by a model of device from a manufacturer. So it can be quite precise. Then when we have an unknown devices, if it was part of the training set, if this type of device was part of the training set, not the same instance of device, but something that was another device of the same kind was in the training set, then you can perform the classification and have device type identification. The result we have, so we compare different machine learning techniques, random forest, decision tree, k-nearest neighbors, support vector machine, and naive Bayes. And all the techniques performs quite well. Super vector machine was a bit less efficient, but the other techniques was quite good. And what we found the best was decision tree. It has the best precision and accuracy. And more interestingly, we have also the possibility with decision tree to understand what the algorithms did by looking inside the decision tree to check what was the most relevant parameters in the features that that allow to identify well the device. We did not test artificial neural networks because, in fact, with the classical machine learning techniques listed here, we had enough good results. We make a demo prototype. So here you see the test bed. So the software was implementing inside this PC, connected to a LAN. The LAN was Ethernet and Wi-Fi. We have an Ethernet switch to connect device on Ethernet, and also to transfer the packet of Wi-Fi to Ethernet to be able to get the Wi-Fi and Ethernet frames in the same device, the same on the PC. This is a result of one device that connect to the on gateway. So I do not remember which device it was. It was a camera, so it was this camera here that was identified. And here the raw data that you get. So here we just for the demo we use for the solution we use both textual and traffic features, but on the demo it was easier to show the textual features, and here you see what we get from different protocols coming from UPnP, user agent, MDNS, and hostname, and so on. So you see that this kind of device is quite speak a lot to the network, and it is quite easy for this device to identify what it is, because with UPnP you can get the HTML descriptor of this device directly. But other devices it was not the case, but you were able to identify them anyway. So this demo has been done at TMA 2019. We get the best demo award with this one, and also at in a demo, public demo in Nokia Bell Labs. Here are the simulation, the publication. So I will not insist too much on them. To go to the last activity, I want to give some details. IoT network monitoring. This is an activity that comes after the thesis of Nesrin Amar. When we do the solution, when we implement the solution for the IoT device identification, we see that there was a need to have some solution to have a generic IoT network monitoring. So this work is performed in Nokia Bell Labs by me and some colleagues, and Pune Mokarias, who was last year intern coming from Sorbonne University. It's ongoing work, and we have a general architecture that we are still implementing. We already implemented a first version with Pune last year, and we improved this implementation with microservice architecture to do that. So this architecture is the following. You have an IoT network that here it can be an industrial IoT, but it can work also at home for home networks. You have network equipment that connect different devices, and you have a cloud in which you can have some analysis. So we have some observers. So we split the solution in two. We have some observers that will do the capture of traffic. We will capture traffic coming from the devices, and they are programmable. And we have analysis that will perform more complex analysis, data analysis with the traffic that is captured by the observer. And we have an orchestrator. So the end user, what he does, he submits a task to the orchestrator. The orchestrator deploys the specific code for this task for the analysis, and also for the observer, the code for the observer that will just capture the traffic that is required. It will not be all the traffic, just the traffic that is required for the analysis. Then the observer transfers the data they captured to the analyzer. That analysis is performed, and then you have a report that is given back to the end user. So we are working still working on this solution. Other topics I will not describe in details. IoT network data analytics. So this was we had several discussions with Professor Panos Chrysanthis when he was invited at Links to discuss his view and to give our view to him about what we can do and what is interesting to do in the data analytics in IoT networks. And it was also with Vasilis Christofides at INRIA. We have also an activity on network of robots. So this is a current PhD with Razan Aché in Nokia Bell Labs in RIA. She presented shortly what she is doing this morning, and I hope that you had the opportunity to discuss with her what it is. The idea was the automated space exploration with a fleet of robots to do that and optimizing this exploration. To conclude, so IoT has been a quite active research domain since the last workshop we had with the scientific committee at LINX in 2018. And it is still an active research domain to this year, in fact. So, for example, in Nokia Bell Labs, we are still going on with IoT network monitoring, hoping to have something improving the way to deploy solution to analyze IoT network and their devices. There are some IoT-related work, but that are also related to 5G or 6G activities. There is a PhD I talk about with Razan Abu Aché with the fleet of robots. And we are currently also trying to set up projects on collaborative projects with the Institut de Recherche Technologique et Systémique on IoT. And you have the list of 3 proposals. One is about massive machine type communication, 5G and beyond for industrial IoT. There are also some proposal about resource allocation in industrial IoT that take care a lot about the timing and using edge computing. And we have this related to what IoT network monitoring I presented before, a proposal about working on AI-based analysis using looking at traffic flows in industrial IoT. And the fourth one is about the general control and management of industrial IoT networks. It is something that is that the team in which I am working in Bell Labs is working on it. So thank you for your attention, and if you have some questions, I will be pleased to answer them.